Previously on NOMS, Matches found out that Shannon was actually a chimpanzee who had learned to talk and behave by watching Robert Williams movies. Let's join them now. That's right, we're here! What was
guys.
Tell me that name of that show again there, Matches.
That their show is called NOMS Podcast.
That's right.
NOMS Podcast stands for
Nerdin' Out with
Matches and Shannon.
That's right, and in case you're wondering, I'm Shannon.
I'm Matches.
That's what your underwear says. That's right, that's what you told me.
That's true. It took me all night to embroider that. So.
It's
is that what it is, embroidering?
I think so. Okay. Embarrassing? I don't know. Embroidering. Yeah, embroidering. Yeah,
I'm a Midwest princess this week, Shannon.
Yes, you are. I love it.
I've got my Chapel Roan cap on, and I'm ready to go hunt.
You look like you're going undercover at a bachelorette party. I love it.
That's right. I'm going hunting, y'all.
Let's party, girls. Well, listen, we're having fun with this podcast. And you know what? 2 more, and we finally get our personal pan pizzas. So I'm pretty excited.
That's cool.
Got 2 more to complete. So in case anyone is listening or watching for the first time, Matches, what are we about?
We're about movie reviews. More specifically, we're about Siskel and Ebert's movie reviews. And, trying to be a little bit of critics ourselves. We like to say what we feel about their review. We like to review it ourselves. We like to talk about the movies. We like to talk about the background characters. We like to talk about the foreground characters and the people behind the scenes.
That's right. That's right. Even you, Gaffer, we're down with you. Whatever the heck it is you do.
What's the boy one? The best boy
best
or something?
Boy. I always wanted to be the best boy. I'm the best boy. As Matches told you, what we do is we discuss movies that were reviewed by Siskel and Ebert, 2 of the greatest reviewers alive. Were they the only ones? Yeah. Were they the only ones that had their own show? I've had
at first.
Okay, were there others? Because I know like Rex Reed and Gene Shalit. Remember Gene Shalit? They had the hair that looked like it was nesting. They were on like the morning shows,
like different talk shows and stuff like that. Yeah. I think at one point they all tried their own stuff. I guess I think so. I feel like I remember that, but I know a lot of them were just on the Today Show or the
nice. Well, whatever, none of them are as good as Men on Film and Living Color. 2 snaps up, but that's another show entirely. It is.
It is, yeah.
So
we'll have that podcast coming to you soon.
Oh, yes, we will. So it is Shocktober, Rocktober, whatever you want to call it. It's the spooky season, right?
I love spooky season. It's my favorite. Going into fall.
Dude, Halloween is the best. My wife... Okay, all right. We just had a moment there. Should I leave the room? No, it's fine. Is fall in the room with you right now, Matches?
All right. Yeah. Well, this is NOMS Podcast, so what are we going to do
Spooky
today,
season.
Shannon?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Matches. Coming up, we've got 2 of the greatest horror films that we like. Maybe not. Well, you know what? One to me is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and one to me is the second in a series that started with one of my favorite horror movies of all time. We've got a blast from... I'm not sure. Well, I'll explain because I'm not sure what I said. But we have got, from 1987, we have got the mullet-wearing, shirtless saxophone-playing, sexy Chinese food-eating, or is it classic vampire movie by Joel Schumacher, 1987's The Lost Boys. Woo! I'm so excited about that one.
We're doing Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
That's right. It's
the meta nightmare of your dreams.
It is. It was meta before meta was cool. I mean, it really was.
That's right. I think I like it a little bit more than I did last year. Like, not last year when it first came out.
Okay, so it's growing on you like a fun guy.
Well, it could have been so much better. I feel like this is the first draft of a movie that could have been hammered out so solidly.
You know what? We could talk about that, about how this was probably like a warm-up to Scream.
Yeah.
In a way.
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of it. I am so excited. But 1, don't fall asleep. 2, don't go out in the daylight. Any other rules before tonight's podcast starts?
3, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Right.
Break
and let's get ready to...
a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Thank you.
It's snack time. Let's all go to the lobby. That's right. We're going to do that. So we will be right back with you in 2 shakes. Isn't that right, Matches?
That's right. 2 shakes.
So, Matches, what are we doing right now? What part of the show is this?
I know.
It's the
video movie corner
pick of
pick of the
week. But you know
week.
what? Oh, that was awesome. See, you always do such a great job. I suck at that. So I called someone in to do my part this week. Okay, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. Mr. Anthony Kiedis. It's really nice to be here. It's the video movie corner pick of the week. We're watching the movies, making it neat. Siskel and Ebert, yeah, playing the movies by the sound of bird. So that was the video movie corner pick of the week, where we highlight a movie that we like that most likely came out after Siskel and Ebert's heyday, or maybe they didn't touch it all, because there are some they didn't touch. And we let you know what's going down, what's all around. Mashes, what is your video movie corner pick of the week?
Well, I changed it last second because we had a conversation earlier through text. And I was reminded of the lovely pandemic movie, which is a theme for my movies the last 2 weeks, I guess. Love and Monsters.
That's a great pick. Pretend I know nothing about it. Tell me.
Well, Shannon, Love and Monsters is a post-apocalyptic adventure film set in the world where mutated creatures have wiped out most of humanity. The story follows Joel, played by Dylan O'Brien, a timid young man who has spent 7 years hiding in an underground bunker. When he learns that his high school girlfriend, Amy, with one I and two E's, is still alive, he embarks on a dangerous journey across the monster-infested wilderness to find her. Along the way, he encounters various challenges, makes new friends, including a loyal dog and a hardened survivor. Guess who that is? Michael
I'm gonna
Rooker.
give you one. That's right, it's Michael Rooker, baby.
It's Michael Rooker. He's the best. And also the dog was great. Let's see. Well, I don't know. I love the part in the beginning with the bunker. You know, it's a funny movie. It's a really quirky movie. What else? Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's a mix of quirky characters, thrilling moments. It's an entertaining watch for me. So the world building is solid.
Oh, I am sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you, but I was going to say the cute little girl from Stuck in the Middle from Disney Channel, and she also played Tiny Gamora. I don't know her name.
Okay, yeah.
She's a little Latina girl. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she plays Michael Rooker's sidekick.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah. Well, tell them why you recommend it and where they can find it.
Well, I recommend it because it's really great. It's one of those movies that got lost during the pandemic. If you didn't catch it on streaming, the last few years, you should really watch it. The CGI is amazing. The photography, the camera is amazing, I feel like, in this movie. The acting's solid, of course. It's funny. I don't know. The creatures are great. The whole world is kind of great. Just how everything mutated around them and took over. So it's just a big, giant ants, giant slugs, giant snails, giant frogs. Giant creatures killing everybody. So
now we're under the magnifying glass.
Yeah, we are. And,
we are.
It's a good time.
Where can they find it, Matches?
Right now, you can find it streaming on Pluto for free. Asterisk, is streaming really free? Or do you have to pay with commercials? Oh, it is? Okay. Or do you have to pay with commercials? You really do pay with the commercials you watch. But that's okay because it's streaming for free there. Or you can probably buy it or rent it at any of the 50 some odd digital retailers online.
That's true. Or the thing called DVD and Blu-ray. Whatever. I'm old school.
DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah. Got my Buffy DVDs ready to go.
Me too. I always joke with my wife that if someone breaks in or there's a fire, I'm like, look, you guys are the first ones I'm saving, but the Buffy DVDs are next.
Yeah, that's my other video movie corner pick of the week is just Buffy on DVD. Get it?
We talk about that sometime.
Drusilla has a new podcast out there going over the show.
Martin Landau's daughter. Okay.
Is it really?
Yes, Juliet Landau
is Martin Landau's daughter.
Legendary Martin Landau.
Kidding me?
From Ed Wood, from the old school original Mission Impossible. Yeah, Martin Landau.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, watch her. Go find her. It's like Slaying It or something like that. Go watch it or go listen to it. It's great.
That's a lot of pick of the weeks. I like it.
Anyway, I know I got a lot of pick of the weeks this week.
I love it.
Go ahead, Shannon. What's your?
Okay. Well, here's what I'm picketing. Here's what I'm protesting. So my pick of the week, since we're doing New Nightmare by Wes Craven, and I'm a big fan of Wes Craven. He's had a lot of hits. He's had a lot of misses. This is what I consider, I don't know how people feel about this movie. I think it was an underserved, under the radar gem. I think it made some money. I think people liked it. It's called Red Eye from 2005. And you're thinking Wes Craven, it's about a killer with red eyes and he shoots them. No, it's not. It's actually a tight, very literally tight, because it takes place mostly in a plane. It is a suspense thriller where, you know what? I had to write her name down because I'm always like the Notebook Girl. The Notebook Girl. I want to call her Emma, but it's Rachel McAdams.
That's right.
I don't know why I want to call her Emma. Rachel McAdams is lovely. She is a hotel manager who's coming back from her grandma's funeral. She's on a flight, and sitting next to her. And in the airport bar, she strikes up a friendship and a flirtation with none other than either Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy. Which one is it?
It's actually Cillian Murphy.
Nice. She lights up a conversation with America's darling Cillian Murphy. I love him. He's great. He's charming. She's charming. Finds out they're sitting by each other in the plane. It's a meet cute. No, it's not.
Oh.
Cillian Murphy is actually working for a terrorist group that needs her. She is instrumental in a plot to assassinate someone. I won't reveal much. I will say most of it does take place in the plane. And it's great. It's very tight. It's very suspenseful. It's very well acted. Brian Cox is in it as her dad. Yeah. And it is a very good thriller. I recommend it. Let me tell you the trailer I saw real quick. When we saw the trailer in the theater in 2005-ish, the trailer started off with, the meet cute. And you're thinking, this is going to be a nice little romantic dramedy comedy. Yeah. Oh, those two are great together. And all of a sudden she looks at him and she goes, so what is it you do for a living? And he turns to her. And his eyes literally glow red, and it says, from Wes Craven. And I was like, and that's how I thought, it's a horror movie. Okay,
yeah, I remember thinking the same thing. Okay, yeah, that's why I thought that. And when I saw it, I think that's why I was let down. I need to see it again because I know people recommend it a lot these days. They're like, this is an underrated movie. You need to watch this. Maybe I was expecting something else and just didn't.
No. It's not a movie that's going to save the world, but it's going to make you feel good. It is it's in the vein of one of my favorite Johnny Depp thrillers, Nick of Time. It's kind of like in a real time. Yes, we can do that one day. Nick of Time is a great movie. It's a real time movie. Yeah. And it's just like that, but it's on a plane. And so I recommend Red Eye streaming somewhere. I think right now, as of a few days ago, you have to rent it or buy it. I don't think it's streaming free anywhere. Yeah. I think we're going to find out that when we stream for free, it's kind of like that Justin Timberlake movie In Time. We lose a little bit of our lives in exchange to stream for free. Yeah. It's like,
I can trade goods and services for more.
Woohoo! I'm so glad I watched Titanic, but I feel 10 years older.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, that was our video movie pick of the week. Oh! Live forever. Party all night. Stay young. How do you do that, Matches?
Bite me.
Oh, you like that? You like that? I got my pair of Fossies here. I'm going to town. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite movies. Is it one of your favorite movies, Matches?
Of course. Yeah.
Awesome.
Why not?
We're going to be talking
this week. It is. No.
If you say so.
What are we talking about, Shannon?
Well, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about the Joel Schumacher directed vampire opus. They kind of took vampires out of the dusty old Dracula, where you think of old men as vampires like come to me, and made them young and sexy and full of mullets. Apparently that was the price you had to pay to be an 80s vampire. We're talking about The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys. Rest in peace, Schumacher.
Oh my gosh, yes, rest in peace, Schumacher. Anybody else with that movie dead? Probably the grandpa. Corey Haim. Oh. Rest in peace, Corey Haim.
Corey Haim, yeah. What about the main bad guy in that movie?
Rest in peace, Edward Herman. Yeah, spoilers. Yeah. Warning, we will be giving spoilers for
really likable guy the whole time.
He is a great, and I'm going to talk about how I feel about that and how, I would see him after that movie. And it's great. But this movie is a vampire movie set in Santa Carla, California. That's right.
The murder capital of the world. At one time.
It is funny because it's a fictional city, but it's actually filmed in Santa Cruz, which at one time did have that title. Yep,
It's true.
There was like a serial killing just going around.
It was directly
More than
based on
one.
it, and they had they weren't happy about it at first because they didn't want that title.
No,
but when the
but
movie did so well, they had showings every year.
But yeah, Lost Boys is a great vampire movie. It like I said, it made vampires younger, made vampires cooler, hipper, sexier. And it takes the conceit from Peter Pan. They never grow up, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're unruly boys. It stars everyone's favorite 24-hour agent, Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland, back when he was the GOAT.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he was doing Stand By Me. He'd gotten big for that. He was doing all kinds of good stuff.
That's right.
And Julia Roberts. And I'll tell you about that connection later. It also stars Jason. Yeah, there's a connection. It also stars Jason Patrick without the K. Who else is in this movie, Matches?
Oh my gosh, Alex Winters.
Yes,
excellent. Bill from Bill and Ted.
Excellent vampire, yeah.
That's right. We've got Corey Feldman.
Yes, we do. We've got Jamie Gertz. Jamie Gertz with a Z.
Jamie Gertz, the wealthiest woman in Hollywood.
What? Why is she the wealthiest woman in Hollywood?
Well, I'll tell you, Shannon, this is kind of a meme story going around for a while. She married a billionaire.
Okay.
So she literally is the wealthiest actress in
Hollywood,
Hollywood, but not for acting. Yeah.
Wow.
She's amazing, though. I love her. I love her very much.
But yeah, this is a great movie about a family, a single parent family led by a wonderful woman, Diane Wiest. Wiest. Yeah. Funny for Parenthood, an Oscar winner at the time for Hannah and Her Sisters, which Joel Schumacher was very shocked. She said yes. He was the first person. She was the first actress for that role.
Serious?
She said, heck yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And he was shocked because she had just won an Oscar, and he's like, really? You want to do our little movie? So she moves him to California to Santa Carla, and they're trying a new start. And turns out Santa Carla has a bit of a vampire problem.
That's right. And Schumacher actually made this movie. Not I mean, literally, yeah, he did, but he also
he built it.
Made this movie what it was, because it was originally kids. It was a kids vampire movie. And it was a heartwarming tale with family adventures. It was the Goonies meets, It
was the Goonies meets vampires. You're right. They were a lot younger.
And he didn't want to do it. And he was going to call and say, I can't do this. But whoever he called was out of town, and he had time to think about it. And he wrote The Lost Boys as it is. So he really did make this movie.
and fun fact, when he hired Jason Patrick had input on the script and the screenplay. So he helped shape the film, and he also suggested Jamie Gertz for the role.
Oh, wow, really?
Because Schumacher at first wanted a blonde, wafy, like Meg Ryan type. He was even going to ask Meg Ryan. Yeah, so this was probably the first true horror comedy I ever saw, because I was shocked at how funny it was. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. It is funny, yeah.
I got to tell you how I saw it. It's so funny. So I didn't see it in the theater. My parents were slowly letting me watch horror films, because this was rated R, but it's, except for a couple scenes, it doesn't really need to be rated R. It's not too graphic. So we had a family friend who taught my sister drum lessons, and she had Cinemax. And so I don't know if you had family friends do this for your relatives. She would record a whole bunch of movies on Cinemax for us and gave us 2 video cassettes. And The Lost Boys was on there. Yes.
Really?
Now, I have to tell you what this means, because the way she recorded it, for, let's see, almost 20 years, I didn't realize that I'd never saw the beginning of the movie. The movie starts...
It was cut off?
Yes, the movie starts after the security guard dies, which is like 5 or 7 minutes. Yeah, the beginning,
that's
they're on the merry-go-round.
Well, yeah, that's like the setup. The whole...
they're on the merry-go-round. There's 2 of their future victims. There's the guard who tells them to get out of here, I told you to leave. And then they kill the guard. Nope. My movie started with aerial shot.
Oh, wow. How long was it until you saw the rest of the movie, though?
Until I bought the DVD in 2006.
Are you kidding?
And I'm like, am I on the deleted scenes? What's happening?
That's so sad.
I know, it's so funny for years. I was like, what is this beginning? Is this a director's cut?
But yeah, what we're saying earlier about Joel Schumacher, wanting all this cast and getting all this cast, the studio didn't know the cast. These were unknowns, a lot of unknowns at the time. So they had a $20 million budget until all this casting. And to get all those people, they went down to an $8.5 million budget.
They did, and we can talk about that later, because he did the Jaws thing about less is more.
Yeah.
The way it works is beautiful. Yeah. So, tell me about how you saw it. You got a story?
Actually, don't remember. I had a lot of cool friends in high school that liked it, and I think we just rented it and watched the crap out of it. So, we rewound it, watched it again, forgot to rewind it, brought it back.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we loved it. I don't know how Siskel and Ebert are going to like this movie. How do you think they felt about vampire films? Do you think they're going to think it's a fresh take? Do you think they're going to like it? Siskel's probably
going to. I wonder how they felt about Near Dark. Like,
we've got to do Near Dark for.
If they like, that's the great movie. If they didn't like Near Dark, there's no chance they like this.
No. But this movie has such a sense of humor to it. Like I said, I was surprised at how much I laughed. I was like, why am I laughing?
They do like humor mixed with this kind of stuff, right?
And it works. So, speaking of humor, let's fire up that popcorn machine, get your sody, and we're going to watch who?
Siskel and Ebert review The Lost Boys. And, oh no.
Named The Lost Boys, and this is a very ambitious, well-acted horror movie about teenage vampires in Santa Carla, which we are reminded more than once in this film is the mass
good start.
He
doesn't like to hear anything more than once either.
No, apparently he does not like to be reminded. Remember Kirsty.
That's right, Tiffany.
He does not like that at all.
This movie follows a trend I've seen in a lot of horror and science fiction movies lately. The sensational storylines from 1950s exploitation films are updated with good dialogue and production values and made into slick movies for the 1980s. That's what they did with The Fly. That's what they do here. Kiefer Sutherland stars as the leader of the vampires, and it's a good, tough performance. I mentioned before that The Lost Boys is a well-made movie, and it is impressive. The performances are good, especially by Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patric. The special effects are good. The vampire scenes look convincing, and some of the credit for all of that goes to the director, Joel Schumacher.
I feel like there's a butt coming. But maybe not.
Maybe we should end it right here. Is there a big butt or a little butt? I'm kind of worried. It's kind of like saying, listen, I'm really proud of you this year. You're doing great in school. But your father ran off with his secretary. Wait, what?
Yeah, he's giving some good praise here, though. But maybe there's not a butt coming. Hopefully he just completely loved it all the way through.
No, I feel like there's a hook. Let's
there might be a hook. He is happy, though. I don't know. Let's see. A little bit.
Some of the credit for all of that goes to the director, Joel Schumacher, who specializes in supernatural subjects and did that weird Shirley MacLaine movie a few years ago, The Possession of Joel Delaney. But Schumacher also has to take the blame for what happens to this movie. It starts out with a lot of interesting stuff in it, like a love affair between Diane Wiest, who plays the mother of those boys, and Edward Herman, who's a local businessman with a mysterious background. But then the ending of the film is simply action and special effects. The human relationships are all ignored. If you're going to make a convincing, realistic vampire movie, you shouldn't just go for the gore in the last reel, I don't think. This is a close miss, but I'm going to have to give it thumbs down because it doesn't live up to its original promise.
Well, that's exactly what I think. I think it's an overstuffed picture. I think this picture should have...
You know who I think is overstuffed?
Oh, I think we do. You know what? You're right.
They really had me in the first half. I'm just going to say.
That was a big butt. And you know what kills me? I get so tired of people saying, like, you know what, this movie's great until the action scene at the end. That's how it should end, okay? I'm sorry at the end they weren't like, look, I appreciate you taking me into this vampire world, but I can't do it. I understand. Let's relate. No,
absolutely.
You want a SmackDown. Because it's action. It's horror. You know, you need... People talked about Iron Man. They were like, Iron Man is a great movie until the end where he fights the bad guy.
Really?
I'm like,
they say that?
comic,
really?
But yeah, no. Critics were like,
well, I felt like that in Iron Man 2. I felt like it was very linear, and then that's.
Oh no, Iron Man 2 is a total different subject. There.
It's horrible. I can't believe he didn't apologize for that movie.
But yeah, so I'm not surprised Siskel's going to savage him. But Ebert was like praising it, and then he turned it around and put the knife in.
Oh yeah, that's. I knew there was a butt coming. I just knew it. It's like one of those people who you're in customer service, right? And so somebody walks up and they're so happy, they're so nice that you think, wait, what happens when things don't go their way? Are they going to be just that angry? And that happened to me before. The nice lady came through the drive-thru, but when something didn't go her way one day, she just went crazy on everybody. We were like, there it is. There.
I see it. I see the horns.
So that was his wind up and his pitch. I knew it. I just saw it coming.
Well, as you can tell from the beginning of this podcast, I am totally disagreeing with these two so far. I want to hear what Siskel says, but
I agree what he said with everything in the beginning.
Yes. And the SmackDown, the fight at the end was coming. It had to, because I mean, one thing about this movie, like I said, less is more. Schumacher, like you said, he was working on a limited budget, so he held back so much. Like, for instance, you don't see the vampires really fly to the end. To make it look like they're flying because they couldn't afford it, they did aerial shots. And to me, that's scarier. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're picking up the guard. They're ripping off roofs. And you don't see them fly, but it's kind of like the shark in Jaws. You see the fin.
Also, the motorcycles in the sand were kind of impressive, too, because they said that was very difficult, and everyone could have gotten hurt.
Yes, that's what I heard, too. I mean, sand is terrible for motorcycles or dirt bikes.
Yeah. All right, let's see what they thought about
Let's see Siskel,
whatever.
Let's see him put the final knife in. Ugh, disagree.
I think they'd have too many characters, too many things going on. I got interested in the adults. I got interested in the kid, especially that little brother played by Corey Haim. He says, "You drank blood," or whatever he says. It's a great line. It's just too full. You built up all this machinery, and then you unload it, sort of run it down a steamroller at the end with these people jumping through the air in a vampire fight. I'm exhausted. In a picture that I could have liked.
It's a strange criticism to say that a movie is too ambitious, but in a way it is. It really is all over the map. And great performances, great actors in there.
I don't know about the word great. You're throwing that around a lot today.
Great is a good, good performances, good actors. How's that, okay?
I'm so glad we have
Wow.
It just ends with them arguing. Like, I love it.
Ebert's just mad because he didn't
couple.
get bitten so he could stay young forever. That's just
true.
That is upsetting. That is dismaying.
It is.
And apparently
there you are.
they don't believe. They don't believe. They don't believe. Okay, no talk about Lost Boys is ever complete without the mention of one of the most bizarro scenes in the film. If you've seen this movie once, you don't forget this. It's a scene when Michael sees Star for the first time, played by Jamie Gertz in Lost Boys, and they're on the beach, and there's a concert going on. Matches, would you like to tell them what is happening at this concert?
It's an 80s beach party.
Oh, it's so 80s.
We've got this guy, this honking hulk of a guy.
Yes.
Did he play for who did he play for before this? Do you remember?
Tina Turner. His name is Tim Capello.
Yes.
He was a sax, and he's really good at saxophone. If like Kenny G is the soft sax, he's like the hard sax in the dark in your face.
He's rocking that sax.
It's like the muscle
best
sax.
part, and I hope that we get that clip for our little saxophone solo.
Oh, we've got to. He's this shirtless, oiled up man. And not only is he's singing a song called I Still Believe, which, real quick, was a song by a band called The Call. And then he covered it for the movie. Now, the same time that he covered it, it was also covered by a Christian pop artist named Russ Taff. I don't know if you remember Russ Taff.
I remember the name.
Okay, because a bunch of my friends who listen to Christian music then were like, why was a Russ Taff song in the Lost Boys? It just happened to be, they released it around the same time. Yeah, he's singing I Still Believe. And you know what? He is so intense. He makes you believe. You believe because the look on his face, right, Matches?
Yeah.
He's pumping his fist and he's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And everyone's too scared. It sounds good. It looks great.
Amazing. It's scary as hell, too.
So scary as heck. But you don't forget it because it's so intense. My mom's words when she watched it with me and my sister for the first time were, "Oh my word!"
Really? That's goes, so funny.
He needs to take it down a notch.
Oh no, he needs to put it up some more. Like
that's what I'm saying. And you never see him again. You never see him again.
No,
shirtless saxophone man.
The music in this movie is really good. A lot of good covers. Echo and the Bunny Man, Do the Doors.
People are strange when you're restrained. And
surprisingly good cover of that song, yeah.
Yeah, and the scene works because you see like clips of Santa Carla and people, and they film people without their knowing at the time.
Really?
Because they didn't use extras. They just used people walking around. So if you went to see that movie in Santa Cruz and you're like, hey, there's me. There's Ralph.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But the soundtrack, the music is great. It's very 80s rock. And I think what song besides the I Still Believe song is still in our brains. I think the song it's like a theme throughout the entire movie. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Is it called
Not Kill, Cry Little Sister?
Cry Little Sister. Actually, original song made for this movie.
And the way they play it in scenes, it's just like it hits you. Like when someone dies, they play it. When Star and Michael are, kissing and loving, they play it. So you got these big rock and roll mullet vampires, and Michael's interested in Star. So David looks like her boyfriend, and they start a rivalry, and David tells him to follow him down to their lair. and you remember it was like a hotel or something that had been like destroyed in an earthquake.
Yeah, was it kind of underground or something too? Or
Semi. Yeah. And that's where they lived, kind of like the Lost Boys in Peter Pan. They had their own cool little lair, you know?
And what were they eating, Shannon?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So we know they're vampires. Okay, we know they're vampires already. We knew that going into the movie. Michael thinks they're just a bunch of eccentric bikers, you know, who just might have a thing for leather and oily saxmen. And so
the cool kids,
yeah. So he has Bill S. Preston Esquire, Alex Winter, go out and get some Chinese food. As he's eating the Chinese food, he tells Jason Patrick, he tells him it's not really Chinese food. What does he tell him it is, Matches?
He says, it's maggots, Michael.
He looks out
You're
for the
eating
rice.
maggots.
It is maggots.
It is maggots, yeah. And true story, they had to have maggot wranglers on set to do this, and they squeezed lemon juice on them to make them wiggle and squirm. Same thing.
Did that make them taste better?
Yeah, and also it turned into worms at one time, so they had a worm wrangler on set.
Okay,
and that's true. And so there's another animal or insect or whatever in this, film.
Two dogs,
there was a whole bunch of flies at one time.
Huh.
Do you remember this?
I don't remember the flies.
Well, they had to released 300,000 flies onto the set. And then they discovered
they were all buzzing around Corey Feldman for some reason.
You can't capture flies on camera anyway. You can't see a fly on camera. So all these flies got to other sets, and there was an infestation of
the
flies
studio lot?
everywhere. Yeah, on the studio lot. So they had to get exterminators to come in and professionally remove them. And then they just pretend like there's flies all over.
Freaking Schumacher.
But yeah, the fly wrangler was not happy that day.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. And at the same time, you remember Corey Haim, he goes to this comic book shop ran by... What were the characters' names? Do you remember? Come on.
The Froggy Brothers.
The Frog Brothers.
The Frog Brothers. Okay, just Frog. Yeah.
Played by Corey Feldman and a guy named Jameson Newlander that I never saw again. And out of nowhere, they give him this vampire comic, and they're warning him about the. Yeah. They know about the vampires in the area. They're like amateur vampire hunters, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever, you know." And he's like, "Maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't." Oh, you know.
Yeah. That was a real shop. They closed down and then moved. Somewhere else in town, but they still have the comic they made for that movie. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you notice the shot of their parents are always asleep or stoned?
Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah. They pretty much run the shop. I don't know. They're always there. They're like sitting there asleep.
Yeah. They're living the life, the dream. Like, that's all they do.
Well, if you think about it, this movie is all about being young and being free, being young forever, right? So things happen, and Diane Weiss is getting worried. She starts working at the video store with Edward Herrmann, and Corey Haim finds out his brother is a vampire because he floats outside his room.
Yep.
Remember he said, my own brother's and I'll clean it up, a gosh darn crap sucking vampire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. He's so serious about it.
Oh gosh, yeah. He's so serious and so many jokes. And so Jason Patrick's like, something's going on. He tries to find out what's happening. And then one night, the scene that probably earns it the R rating. Kiefer Sutherland tells him, come with us if you want to see Star again. Takes him to the beach, and there's a party. And what happens?
I don't remember. What does happen?
They finally reveal they're vampires. They bite the heck out of the surfer guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got you. I was trying to think of like how they did that. Yeah.
Yeah, to the tunes of Walk This Way by Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Before we leave, I would be remiss if I didn't say one of the best lines, as only Kiefer Sutherland in his voice could say. He comes up, they're covered with blood, and he's like, now you know who we are. You never get old. You never die. But you must feed. And then he goes, and you have 24 hours. Boop, boop. So, real quick, I know we got to wrap this up, but Corey Haim starts thinking that Edward Herrmann is the head vampire. And then he doesn't, they bring him to the house. He doesn't pass the test. And then at the end, we find out he was the head vampire the whole time.
Yeah.
And, things get taken care of. And it's a really good movie. And because of that, every time I would see Edward Herrmann in anything, I'm like, run, it's the head vampire. It's the head vampire. I was watching Gilmore Girls, and he's Rory's grandpa. And I'm like,
that's right.
Rory, your grandpa's the head vampire. Before we wrap this up, the movie ends on the best ending ever, I think. Do you remember how it ends?
Well, the grandpa comes in with the truck, right?
And saves the day. He walks to his fridge that, by the way, you remember he had that section that said grandpa stuff only? It was all his root beer,
right.
all his treats. Opens up a root beer, starts drinking. Diane Weiss, she just had this traumatic event. She almost turned into a vampire. Her kids almost died. She's like, Dad? And he goes, one thing I never could stomach about living in Santa Carla. All the dang vampires. And that's how it is. Oh. And the reason I say that is because when we were watching it with my mom, my mom thought Grandpa was going to be a vampire or something.
Yeah. He's just someone that already knows about him.
Yes, because my mom would get so invested in a movie. She was like, oh, no. Oh, Grandpa. Oh, no. Grandpa.
Yeah, you'd fear for his life. And or something. Yeah.
You remember that line he said when Corey Haim was like, is this really the murder capital? And he's like, well, let me just say, if all the corpses here stood up at the same time, we'd have a heck of a population problem.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true.
So it's a great movie. And I got to say, this is one of my wife's favorite movies. So it's something that we can enjoy and watch together all the time.
Oh, one fun fact is Kiefer Sutherland did his hair like that on his own. He didn't tell anybody he was going to do that. They were a bit mad at first.
Yes!
But it's such an iconic look. He profusely later apologized for maybe inventing the mullet.
Well, Alex Winter also proved he can't do long hair because that was a weird casting.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, he had that little thing back there. Yeah, we had the saxophone man with his stuff going on back there. Yeah,
well,
a lot of stuff going on back there in this movie.
That's true. A lot of hair in the back there. So speaking of Kiefer Sutherland, real quick before we wrap up, Jason Patric and him were best friends when this movie started.
Really?
Yeah, they were best friends. And I don't know if you remember, I don't care about celebrity gossip, but for some reason, it was everywhere. We didn't have the internet. We had magazines and Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts was engaged to Kiefer Sutherland.
I think I remember that.
In the very early 90s. And then she called it off. And guess who she dated the second she called off the wedding?
Who?
Jason Patric.
Really?
Yes.
I always think it worked out for those crazy kids.
Yeah, and they didn't, but it worked out in their lives with other people. And then him and Kiefer were kind of on the outs for a few years, but then they finally made good and became friends again, buried the hatchet. So that was good. Yay! Love rules. I just found it funny that Julia Roberts was in between the two rivals from Lost Boys. That's kind of funny.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, I'll give this movie 2 fangs out of 2.
Nice. I give this 2 oily saxmen up.
Oh, that's good. All right. Cool.
Nice. Lost Boys. Go see it. Okay, so matches, as you know, every week I try my hand at a new theme song. You critique me, and I figure, I can do better. Because I got to please my friend. I got to make matches happy.
Constructive criticisms only, yes.
That's right. You're ugly, but you got a great personality. Thanks, Mom. No, I mean, she never said that. She never said I had a great personality. So we're going to do a theme song. I got a great one here. It's a totally original melody. What I need you to do, though, I just need you to, turn the lights down. And where's my baby oil? That's right. Someone's in jail. I got plenty of baby oil. You ready? You ready? Matches, I need you to clap. I need you to go. Keep it going. I want a podcast that I can love, make me laugh like Paul Rudd. I'm nerding out much as I can. Siskel and Ebert, Matches and Shannon, but I still believe I die hard on Elm Street. I rely on their episodes. It's time for NOMS. Here we go. I still believe. I still believe. Oil. Too much oil. Okay, so what'd you think?
I thought it was great. But
speechless. He's speechless.
No, it's not that. It's really not that. I was just waiting for you to start, really, and...
Okay, you know what? It's been good.
Oh, no, it's okay. You're going to get it next time, Shannon. You'll get it next time, buddy.
I use so much oil. This movie is great. Instead of giving people a straight up Freddy Krueger returns from the grave and another routine nightmare, Wes Craven decides to go meta You know, probably, like I said, one of the first things to do that and acknowledge that, you know, they were real people and that Freddy was a fictional character, but somehow an entity is pushing into the real world, taking the form of Freddy. And I know you said it wasn't scary, and I didn't think it was scary, but it's much darker.
Yeah.
It's even darker than the first one. And he's going after Heather Langenkamp, actress Heather Langenkamp, who played Nancy in the first one and the third one, because he sees Nancy as the only way, his foe. So if he stops her, he can come into the real world.
Ah, yes. Okay.
And I love the idea of it. Before we start,
that's a great idea.
It's a terrific idea. It's good. What kills me, though, is I'm sure there were a lot of people who were disappointed. Like, hey, man, I wanted a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. What the heck is this?
I just thought, like, I don't know. They tried to make it so, like, real world that everything seemed kind of boring to me. Like, our house was kind of boring. Okay. There wasn't exciting sets. You know, they were kind of just trying to talk like normal people would talk to each other, husband and wife. And I just found it just kind of on the boring side. I feel like they could have used another rewrite or two with the script. But it was good. It was fine. You know, it was better this time than it was when I was younger. So
So what's great about this movie is I didn't really see a trailer. I heard it was coming, and this is how I heard about it. A friend of mine at school, with his lovable Southern accent, because we are in the South, he said, "Hey man, the new Nightmare on Elm Street, it's a movie where they're filming Freddy, and Freddy shows up. It's gonna be great." And I was like, What? So I didn't know what to expect. That's what he said. He goes, they're filming Freddy, and Freddy shows up. And I just pictured Freddy coming in going, "Oh, what's going on? This is a camera," you know?
That's funny. I love how literal he is about it.
We're filming a Freddy movie, and Freddy shows up.
That's just what happens. It's literally what happens.
And that guy was one of my best friends in school. Loved him.
I believe you. Your mom's like, "Don't hang out with him. He's bad news."
He's wild in the streets.
Right.
He'll get you involved in shirtless saxophone playing and eating maggots.
He'll cold cock you. He'll cold cock you.
I will say this. In the movie, Wes Craven's having nightmares, and that's how he's writing the script. And what he's writing is coming true. If you'll notice, there are no opening credits to this movie.
Oh, he just kind of starts out like life, I guess. Yeah,
he did that on purpose. He's like, "Welcome. What is it?"
Interesting. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And like I told you before, I feel like this was his starting point for Scream. Even though Kevin Williamson wrote Scream, this gave Wes Craven a chance to sort of experiment with this, you know?
Yeah, also, I think so.
Yeah, and it gave John Saxon a reason to be in a theatrical movie, which he hadn't been in a while, her dad.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Heather Langenkamp's dad. Oh, real quick, before we start it again, Heather Langenkamp, her other big role, do you remember what else she was known for besides Nancy? For a TV show?
Oh, gosh. I should know this.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you see my hands? Just 8? The 10 of us. So close.
Oh, the 10 of us. Just the 10 of us.
The ABC sitcom. Yeah, the spinoff of Growing Pains. Yeah, it was about the coach and his wife.
Right. I forgot it was a spinoff of Growing Pains. There's so many spinoffs back then. I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it was the 80s was spinoff Rama. Plus, you had cartoon kid versions of your favorite old cartoons like Flintstone Kids and a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Ooh, Muppet Babies was my all-time favorite.
Yeah, heck yes. They'll make your dreams come true. Real quick before we start, Heather Langenkamp had a stalker because of Just the 10 of Us because it got canceled. So she had a stalker. She had to move to England with her family for a while. Wes Craven put that in the script in a light form. And at first she was like, "Hey," and then she was like, "Yeah, I can work with this." So he drew on a lot of things.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Let's see what Siskel and Ebert thought about this. I'm going to guess, I'm going to say Ebert gave it a chance. Maybe.
I think he's going to like the idea, but he's not going to like the execution.
Like he loved Lost Boys until they fought.
Yeah, at the end. Until the end. I'm like, I never had a problem with the end. I never thought about it. But okay, let's go
let's
share.
See. Let's roll that Freddy footage.
You may recall, or maybe you don't, that in the 6th installment of the popular series, Freddy Krueger, the monster with the knives for fingers, was finally killed for once and all. Unfortunately, it now appears that the series generated an evil force which has been liberated by the screenplay for a sequel and is now haunting the lives of the people who made the film.
We don't know yet.
No, he's not saying it sucks yet.
Yeah, he's just giving us a rundown of what happened. That's nice. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
It's very intriguing the way the film dances back and forth across the line between fantasy and reality. On the one hand, it's in the Nightmare on Elm Street tradition with frightening dream sequences using scary special effects. And on the other hand, It's a look behind the scenes of Hollywood. It's smart, it's scary, and it's curiously thought-provoking.
It didn't provoke a single thought in my head.
Oh, Siskel, you never disappoint when you disappoint.
Well, we got Ebert, man. That's cool, I think.
He liked it. Yeah, Siskel's like, I didn't get it at all. Why didn't he wear a hockey mask and
I didn't
rebuild
hate the movie. I thought it was an amazing premise and stuff. And, you know, a lot of it was really good, I think.
It was. I thought it did great. And like I said, Wes Craven drew on real-life things because there were earthquakes happening, real earthquakes at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it interrupted filming, and they had to actually... Well, some of that damage you see in real earthquakes, that's real earthquake.
Really?
So he just incorporated it in there. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
okay.
And Bob Shea does a pretty good job of playing Bob Shea. Maybe they should have got a better actor.
Yeah. Wes Craven was good, too, I thought.
Wes Craven was great. And real quick, in a funeral scene, we'll talk about who it is later, you get a cameo from the guy who played Rod, which was the second kid to die in Nightmare on Elm Street, first one, the one who they thought killed Amanda Wyss at the beginning. And then the girl who played Kristen in Nightmare 4, taking Patricia Arquette's place. So they're at the funeral.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Who was her blonde friend in this? Was she anybody or just her friend?
Tracy, you talk about the babysitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy Middendorf was the name of the actress. And I'm so glad you brought that up because her character, Julie, was originally written as a red herring, and she was either going to be the stalker or an avatar for Freddy.
Really?
Because if you look, some of it almost seems like she's kind of being a little tricksy.
Like they're setting that up. Yeah.
Yeah, but they decided, you know what? She's so great. She's so wonderful. And we need someone to kill at the end.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see
and she
what
dies.
Gene hated about it.
I can't take this anymore. Let's do it.
But at the core level, this is a mad slasher movie with Freddy, who I have never enjoyed as a villain, and I don't enjoy him here. It's just the same old bloodletting with new actors.
It's too bad that the movie didn't provoke a couple of more thoughts in your head. For example, the use of that little child in some of the sequences, such as when he's up on top of that tower. Very scary and I think very effective. That people who are actors in these movies might have their own lives affected.
But it's
never been done before.
But Roger, no, what I'm saying is it's so obvious and it isn't really dealt with. What it's really, I don't feel that they're really in jeopardy. It's just an excuse to have the same old bloodletting. Coming up next,
do not agree.
Well, we don't. Good.
Ebert, you can come to my party. Ebert can come to our sleepover, not Siskel. I agree with Ebert wholeheartedly, and I don't agree with Siskel because it wasn't an excuse for bloodletting. I mean,
it's not my favorite, but I don't agree with him either at all.
Yeah. And there's only 2 on-screen kills. And actually, they spoiler alert, her husband in the movie, who's a special effects guy, who in real life, Heather Langenkamp, is married to a special effects wizard.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
I know. Her kid isn't Miko Hughes. But so he dies, Freddy kills him. They filmed that scene after... I want to talk about him in a second. Okay. They filmed that scene after because they needed another on-screen kill. They couldn't just have him die off-screen. Yeah. So, let's talk about Miko Hughes. The wonderful,
he was the kid actor of the 90s, I swear to you.
Did he age? When did he finally age?
That's what I was going to say. Was he in everything and just stay the same age for like 15 years?
Here's my thing. I think his first big movie was Pet Sematary, where he was 3 or 4, and he had to play a zombie child.
When was Pet Sematary released?
1988 or 89. One of those.
Okay, and he was born in 86. So
it was 89.
He was 2 or 3, yeah.
Okay, so he's a killer in that movie, and he's psycho. And then in this movie, he's being terrorized by this scary man with claws. Do you think he had a good, normal childhood? Do you think he ended up okay?
I don't know. He seems all right now, I guess.
He does. I saw him.
He was in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, that was the second thing we saw him in. He had one of the best
amazing,
lines in the movie.
He was in a movie with, I think, Andy Garcia, but I can't remember what it was. He was a little older there. That's when I realized he could age.
Well, he was in Mercury Rising in '98 with Bruce Willis, and he looked the same age as Nightmare.
Yeah. Well, he looked a little older, but yeah.
Maybe he was 14.
Still about the same, yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing Seth Green on Conan O'Brien saying, I want to see that movie to see if that kid got any older.
Did he really?
He did.
Which movie?
Mercury Rising?
Oh, okay. That's what he said about it. Okay. See if that kid got any
older.
That's classic. I thought I was the only one who thought that. Girl.
No, I thought it too. I was like, that kid's the same age. Like they
I
had a
thought
Zoom.
in the beginning when I
Yes.
was younger, I thought he was the same kid from The Shining too. When I was like, does he have a brother? Are they? And then it's not. It's obviously not. And I've gone back to
No,
look, and yeah,
but
but he just kind of looked like him to me a little bit back
he was
then.
a
But it's like,
he
does he
was a
have brothers?
wonderful.
Is this a dynasty of brother actors?
Yeah, is this the Hughes? Is this the Hughes takeover?
Yeah.
Move over, Carradines. Move over, Wayans.
Oh man, love that
Move
kid,
over,
dude. He's great in
two
everything
Murphys.
back then.
He was. I mean, he was a kindergarten cop, and if you think about it, that was a little scary too. You know, it's not the tumor. It's not the
Oh
tumor.
yeah. Well, his
But
famous line is what boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
and that was the line that everybody said. Like, no matter how old you were, and you'd be like, "Well, Mom, Dad, am I lying?"
Yeah.
Your parents would be like, "Well, that is scientifically factual." So, like I said, I love this movie because towards the end of the movie, John Saxon's character, who played her dad in the first one, starts calling her Nancy and starts acting like her dad, and she has to become the role of Nancy to stop this entity. And this Freddy is not planned. He doesn't even have a glove. Do you remember that? The claws were in his hands.
Yeah.
He had the trench coat because it was the 80s.
Yeah.
And here's something I want to talk about. I want to talk about Robert Englund, who I got to start at the beginning. Robert Englund is a great actor. Nobody else could play Freddy. And I'm sorry, Jackie Earle Haley. I love you, but that remake was a bad idea.
It was.
And he's great.
He was amazing as he could be in that movie.
He tried his best. Here's a fun fact you may know. Robert Englund was a theater-trained actor, very serious actor, as was Jim Varney, like a theater Shakespeare actor, okay?
Yeah.
So, and he had this role of Freddy Krueger, and unfortunately, it pigeonholed him and typecast him, and he's really only been in horror, and he's in other things, and he's great in horror, and he's great in not horror things, he's really good. Yeah. But in 1970... whatever, he tried out for Han Solo. He auditioned for Han Solo for Star Wars.
No way.
Yes, when they were holding auditions. He didn't make it, but when he went back to his house, the guy who was sharing a room with him, sleeping on his couch, he said, "Hey, they're making this like star space picture. You should go audition." And that guy auditioned, and he got the role of Luke Skywalker. So Freddy Krueger made it possible for Mark Hamill to become Luke Skywalker. I'm not kidding. This is a true story. He was crashing on his couch, Mark Hamill was, and he said, "You should audition." So he auditioned, and the rest is history.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. I did not know that.
And Robert Englund finally got his due in 1984 with Nightmare on Elm Street. So good for him.
Excellent.
But the reason I wanted to mention that is because in the movie, one thing that for years confused me, and I was always alluded about, Robert Englund's not in the movie much. He plays himself. He surprises Nancy on a talk show as Freddy. Then there's a part where she's on the phone with him, and he's acted real weird and real intense, and he's painting the scary picture of Freddy. Yeah. So you're thinking, like, is he becoming Freddy? Is Freddy going to kill him? Because he's getting real intense. He's like, "I'll talk to you later. Bye." And then you don't hear from him for the rest of the movie. Nancy tries to call him, and their machine says the Krugers are out of town. We've gone away. We'll see you later. So they're like, we can't reach Robert. So I'm thinking, what happened to Robert? And they never say, but I finally figured it out through years of research.
Really?
Apparently there was a scene that they didn't film because of budgetary and time constraints where he was going to have a nightmare where Freddy was like this giant spider and he was going to scare him so bad. See, Robert Englund figured out, since everybody else is starting to become their characters, he might start becoming Freddy. So he left the country with his wife to keep everybody safe.
Oh.
Now, if they'd have addressed that more in the movie...
That makes sense. Yeah, at all.
Right?
But it's cool they left it for our imaginations,
Yeah,
because people thought that he was Freddy, he was in the movie, like he was becoming him. That's why we never saw him again. And that would make sense, too.
That would have been good, too. Like, "I'm sorry there, Heather."
So that's fine.
Yes, it is. I like this movie a lot. You think it's okay. I know it disappointed a lot of people who wanted more Freddy. And they got it with 2003's Freddy vs. Jason, so...
I bought it, so it's I can watch it anytime I want to now.
Yeah, I can borrow it from my son on DVD. But boom,
nice, yeah, it's in the bank.
I just think it's a really good. I think it's like it's a story about storytelling and how storytelling can maybe we can frighten ourselves, it can get out of hand, and we got to be in control of our destiny. Because Wes Craven says the only way to contain him, because he said when they killed him off in the movies, his spirit was set free.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is there anything else we could say about New Nightmare?
I'm done. I'm done with New Nightmare. I'm done with New Nightmare. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, I like the way they capped it. Just like I like that Halloween H2O was supposed to be an ending of the Halloween series. That would have been great too.
Yeah.
Then they decided to keep making different sequels, and that's fine too. I like the new ones. But I like this as a definitive end. Like, it's over, but hey, we got to do it in real life. It's a good movie. I would recommend it. I give it 5 blades out of 5 up.
Okay. Yeah. I give it 3.5 blades out of 5.
Okay. Oh, that's decent. That's a good score. I like that.
Okay, Shannon. Next week we've got a really, really special shoe.
Oh, we got a really big shoe coming up for you. Yeah, we've got Baby Geniuses 1 and Baby Geniuses 2, the scariest films of all time. No. It's our Halloween Spooktacular, and it's our Halloween special.
What are we going to call it?
Movies.
We'll come up with a name.
Yeah, we will. Halloween, like the singer? No, that wouldn't work.
Comment, let us know what our Halloween special name should be, and we'll make a little theme song for it.
Yeah. How can they comment? How can they join us?
Well, they can comment on this YouTube video below. You can also contact us at our Gmail. We have a nomspodcast at gmail.com. You can comment below. Also, rate us on Spotify. That really helps us a lot. If you can give us all 5 stars, that would be great. If not, I understand. 3, 4, 5. 5 is great, though. It's a good number.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, I've heard me talk. I understand, too. So next week, we are going to do 2 of my favorite movies by one of my favorite directors. You love him, too, right, Matches?
Oh, absolutely. Totally.
We are doing a John Carpenter 2-4. We are doing what I think a lot of people consider his 2 best films. Take it, Matches!
We're going to do The Thing.
It's the thing, or as we call it in the South, the thing. It's the thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do some big movies because it's Halloween. We're doing The Thing, and we're also gonna do. Are you ready for this, Shannon? Halloween, the original, not the Rob Zombie one.
No. Which I do like, and it's very controversial. I get it.
I like it. I do like it.
The original, one of like Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the best horror films of all time.
I'm excited. Great. I'm going to watch these all week long. I swear.
Yeah, it's a Carpenter 2-4.
We got some research to do. All right, that was probably the best show we've ever done. Maybe 4th best, I would think.
What?
Shannon, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm tired. Okay, I slept till 2.
Are you on drugs?
No, I'm not on drugs, Mom. Let me enjoy my noodles that somehow look like worms, okay? What?
Shannon, are you
I'm hanging out with new friends. No, I have a life. I'm hanging out with friends. Someone just handed me something. I'm fine, okay? I'm hanging out with a guy who looks like he's 24.
Those friends aren't good for you.
We want to thank you for hanging out with us at NOMS. If you were forced to, we're sorry. But if you weren't, thanks a lot. We appreciate that. Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Campbell, Danny Trejo, Diane Weist. If you guys want to get a hold of us, how can they get a hold of us, Matches? Tell us.
They can get a hold of us by typing into the emails.
That's right. Let me give you some maudlin music.
nomspodcast at gmail.com. That's nomspodcast at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Now for the death metal. DrGmail.com. Join us, won't you? We're going to have a great time next week. We're going to have Shocktober all October. It's rocking. Woohoo! Well, I got to go because my new friend says we're going to go on a flight, and looks like we're going to play some bridge or play on a bridge.
Oh, buddy.
You know
Bye,
what I'm feeling.
Oh, Shannon, no. Oh, no.
Never sleep again. Never sleep.
Bye, buddy.
I'm your co-host now.
Oh, no.
It's actually the kids' bedtime, yeah.
Oh,
so
you don't get to hug them good night?
Don't worry, Amanda's got him.
Do you need to go hug them good night?
Amanda's got the kids.
Do you need to go kiss them?
I like to kiss them good night at 2 a.m. to kind of, get them on their toes.
Wow.
Daddy loves you.
Nom, nom, nom.
Nom, nom, nom.